are they going to get a budget? Are they ever going to pass a budget?
Oh, sounds good. All right.
With the color? Or with the circle?
Technical roll.
Ready?
Yep.
Flamini?
Here,
Funderburg?
Here.
Handley?
Here.
Johnson? Here. Lopez?
Here.
Moore?
Here.
Zimmers?
Here.
That is 7 present.
Okay, this is my first official meeting, so hopefully no speed bumps here. President's comments. Public comments are published on agenda items will occur during the public comments portion of the meeting. If you're interested in addressing the board, fill out the required public participation at board meetings form and submit them to Ms. Mitchell in the front row. Seems we have 3 here, so when your name is called, you'll come to the podium. You have 3 minutes, and Rick Sanders will be our timer on that. And I don't have any other comments. I was on vacation since the last board meeting, so I got back Saturday, so I apologize. But my calendar's full for the next 2 weeks with school activities, so I imagine I'll have plenty of comments after that. We're going to have board salutes, and we're going to start with Mr. Flamini.
one of the things that I'd like to mention, this young lady here, who has been our student leader, has, in my estimation, has rewritten the job description for that. She's been so effective, has been so innovative. You're good. And you're going to go a long way, I guarantee you.
I wanted to salute the parents, cast, crew, band members, everybody who participated in any way at Springfield High School. And I know Mr. Hanley, Mrs. Moore, you were there as well. It was a wonderful production of Beauty and the Beast, and the school was alive for the whole weekend, and we enjoyed it very much. And so congratulations to everyone who had a hand in that.
Last week sometime, I think it was Thursday or Friday, Springfield business community had a event at the Prairie Capital Convention Center, and there were high school students there who had started small businesses, and Springfield Public Schools was well represented. And I had a good time. Some of them had cooked things. There's a young man from Lanphier who is going to coach on free throws and and try to help children, his peers. They're still his peers right now. Get scholarships. So I think that was a great idea. There was jewelry making. There was a girl there making salt. There was also a young man. He wasn't in Springfield Public Schools, but he has a business where he tutors in Chinese. And I asked him, did he know about our Chinese students at Isles, and he did not. So I think that I do have his card, his information. He might be a valuable resource for the people at Isles. So, but I had a great time. I went with somebody else, and they ended up waiting on me. But it's great to see young people be innovative and doing things on their own. So they had some great ideas.
Last week I was privileged to be asked to work the middle school city track meet. I always enjoy working meets like that. We probably had 250 kids participating, and it's a great sport because a lot of people can participate in track. You know, all 5 schools had successes. They had a nice crowd out there. They usually get pretty good crowds for middle school track meets, and so it was very enjoyable. A little windy, a little chilly that day, but it didn't seem to affect the students. So I'd like to thank Grant Middle School for inviting me to participate in the track meet, and my salute goes out to all the kids that have worked hard all spring to be successful. They did a great job.
And I just want to echo Mrs. Funderburg for Springfield High, the production of Beauty and the Beast. And the parents, big salute to the parents. Just the support given to the students, it just really made it.
Or May 25th of this month.
May 25th?
Yes.
Okay.
There is no presentations. We're going to go on and move down to 6.1, the financial report.
Hey, Mr. Basco, and you have some good news for us tonight.
President Lopez, members of the board, in your board packet is a summary of revenue and expenditures for the month of April 2016 for the education, the operations and maintenance fund. You also have an accounts receivable outstanding report. For April, education fund revenues were $4,681,000 with expenditures of $8,460,000. Expenditures exceeded revenues by $3,779,000. And the operations and maintenance fund revenues were $251,000, and expenditures were $934,000, and expenditures exceeded revenues by $682,000. Since I prepared this report on Thursday, we have received our third round of categorical payments, so that's about $2.7 million that's come in the last couple of days. And so as of net today, our outstanding state payments are at $418,000.
We had heard many rumors that we wouldn't get a third categorical payment nor a fourth. So to get our third, that solidifies, our thoughts that things are, that this year we're going to be fine. We don't know what will happen as we move forward, but this was a good thing to get our third categorical payment.
Okay. Moving on to 7.1, the superintendent's report.
All right. Well, first of all, just a big shout out to all the teachers in the district here in District 186. As we honor you at the kickoff of Teacher Appreciation Week, we thank you for your hard work, your dedication on an everyday basis. We know that you're out there helping us bridge the gap for the things that the students need. You're under a lot of pressure with all of our state mandates and things that come forth that you have to navigate in the classrooms each and every day. So those of you who are in the crowd and those of you who are listening and watch the board meeting, just know that not only myself, but we all appreciate the work that you do and the dedication. And we know it doesn't end at 3 o'clock or 3:15 or 3:30 when your school dismisses every day, but it's into the evening hours. It's working long and hard to make sure that you're creating activities and lessons for the students that are engaging, integrating technology, all of those things. So we honor you and thank you for all that you do during Teacher Appreciation Week. We had a shout out to we're kind of in our city series for athletics for the spring sports, and the Springfield Senators won the 2016 Girls City Track Championship, so way to go. And they had some exceptional records that were broken, not only personal bests, but personal city goals. So we're very proud of you for your hard work. Also, shout out to Avery Pfeiffer, Latrell Furtage, Hannah Markey of Franklin Middle School. These students had their artwork chosen for the Sangamon County Art Show at SIU School of Medicine, and their artwork will be on display there until May 6th. So that's our art getting out into the community, and we love to see that. Also, shout out to the Springfield Arts Council for sponsoring the One World Taiko Drummers Assembly at Blackhawk. The Arts Council, time and time again, comes to us and says, we have some great programs. We want to sponsor these for your schools, and schools are able to sign up for them and get a variety of arts and performances into their school buildings. So they really enjoyed that over at Blackhawk, and it was fun for all of those who participated. As you know, we are in the park assessment. You got an update at the last meeting. And then also we're entering into a new exam, which is the science assessment that's new to us. We've had a science assessment in the past, but it's new to return to us based on the next generation science standards. So I've asked Ms. Morris to give us a brief update on both of those assessments at this time.
So the science assessment.
You probably need to use a mic if you want to pass that down. Mainly for the TV. The cord's a little jumbled there at the bottom, so I think,
Yeah, there's more.
Just go over there.
So the science assessment
that Mrs. Gill is referring to is the Illinois Science Assessment. And we are assessing students in the 5th grade, the 8th grade, and students who are enrolled in Biology 1 with less than 1 year of science credit. It's kind of a late at the end of the year. It's the first time we've given this assessment. It is an online platform. It's similar to PARC, but a very much shorter test. The estimated testing time for 5th grade is 38 minutes. For 8th grade, it's 40 minutes, and for Biology 1, it's only 32 minutes. So it's considerably shorter. 5th grade has 18 items, 8th grade has 23, and Biology 1 has 21 items. The window actually just opened today, and it's open until May 27th. We gave it for the first time this morning at Jane Addams, and it was kind of a dry run. I worked with the technology department to basically set it up. It's not on the PARC platform. It's on a platform called ISB Teach, and it went very smoothly. What we did here in our district is we set up a login, like here on our district computers, so that we basically, when you see a username and a password, the kids, all they have to do is just type in ISA, standing for Illinois Science Assessment, on their username, and then ISA for the password, and it takes them straight to the test. And it locks everything else out, and then they have a testing ticket, and it's basically just a bunch of letters and numbers, and they type that in, and it goes straight to their test. And it works kind of like a charm, honestly. The tests, like I said, took about 40 minutes, and as I walked around, I proctored at Adams this morning. Everybody's test looked the same. I was in a 5th grade class. It was physical science, biology, life science type questions, and there were some multiple choice, short answer, and constructed response questions. The kids were very engaged with the test. It does not test reading. They wear headphones, and they can have the test read to them so they don't have to struggle with words. They can, it actually is testing science content, which I think is a really good thing. And as far as PARC is concerned, we're almost finished with that. We are 85% done with the PARC assessment, and we will be totally completed with that next Friday. So it's gone very smoothly this year. I've been really pleased. Our teachers and principals and students have just done a remarkable job, and I feel a good sense of accomplishment. I'm really proud of how well it's gone in the district this year. Okay, thank you so much.
PARC? Should we talk about PARC?
She just did. She said that we're about 85% done at this point in time. Did you have any specific questions for her? Okay. Really, the technology platforms have gone smoothly, so big shout out to our technology department and Mr. Qualls and all of those over at the tech who kind of man a tech desk for the principals to call if they're having concerns. So I really it's all appreciate that work. set up through email. We help them directly. They just email us, and we do support through it's called PARC Support, and we're doing the Illinois Science Assessment that way. Good too. Excellent. One other thing I wanted to shout out tonight is that you did see an opportunity for us to participate in something called the Equal Opportunity School program. And we're moving forward with that in the system because it's important for us to really analyze the coursework and the path of courses that our students are taking as they gateway into high school and take the most challenging courses that they possibly can. And we can focus, when we focus on those challenging high school courses, the academic intensity that comes with those are those that prepare you most for your next steps in your life, whether it be college, career, or going into the military. And one of the ways that we provide that academically rigorous coursework is through AP courses at our high schools. One of the things that I've been working very diligently with alongside my cabinet is to really think about how we can make sure that we're equal across all 3 of our high schools in delivering high-level academic AP courses. And also then seeing how we can get more students engaged in taking those AP assessments. There was a new state law last year that says that anybody who gets a 3, 4, or 5 will get partial or full credit on those same classes that they're taking in college, and that could really help people be able to afford their next steps in their college education as well, whether it be junior college or a 4-year institution, or whether they go back and go to college later in life. Those are still available and on their transcripts. How many AP courses have you gone through? I know you've got some on your schedule.
Today I took one, and it's one of 3.
Okay. What did you take?
AP Psychology.
How'd that go?
It's pretty good.
Pretty good? They're difficult, aren't they? Yeah, and one thing that we know that this opportunity will do is be able to provide some professional development for all of our AP teachers across our 3 high schools so that we have some consistency in how those are taught, allow them to be able to come together and do some more course preparation and planning. And I think it's a really good thing for our district to focus on as we move forward. I just wanted to give you a little overview of that, and it's something that I'm excited about as we move forward into next school year. All right, I think that's it for my, or did you have a question?
I did, Mrs. Gill, you know I have these questions because I
Right.
sent them to you.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to ask, the cost of this to the district, I'm not opposed to this, but I just want to understand because there was an open component, the costs included travel, which weren't defined.
Right, I know you met with the coordinator just last Friday, Mrs. Boozer. Did you have any clarification on that? I believe that we could actually offer some of those here in our city, so that's going to help us a great deal.
The conversation I had with them didn't have anything to do with travel. They come to us. And so we would have conversations and professional development here on our site. So we would have other people from surrounding areas that would probably come to us because we're a larger of the districts. So we gave us other opportunities, such as people from Champaign and Peoria would come here, and so we could use our boardroom to do some of those things. And that would just only be for like the overview conversation, but then most of the professional development would be right here in our own district with our own teachers. And they would give us a partnership person to guide that work for us. So there's not a whole lot, but then we do have Title II dollars that would not cost the district. That comes out of our travel and our professional development funds anyway that we provide for our staffs in-house, so that would be coming out of the district funds for that piece. So the clarification piece for me was exciting because as we were talking about making sure all of our students are engaged in the learning process, and then he talked about that and he gave us the data from the school district in which he came from. It was live data, and the school district was Columbia, Missouri. And it looked so much like ours. I almost thought I was looking at one of these different data. And how the students were so engaged in the learning process and how their trajectory of their lives were changing, and the supports that the students and the families were getting on how to recruit students and families into the whole AP and the rigorous coursework that they would need. And we've been talking about that in our system. We talk so much about having an achievement gap, which in reality it really is an opportunity gap. So being able to close that, because having more and more families and students exposed to more rigorous coursework is what we're trying to accomplish. And as we've talked about in the past, about the ACT prep and SAT prep, that would help guide that. And it works right along with our AVID program, Project Lead the Way, our STEM and our STEAM program. So it really goes quite hand in hand with it, and minimal cost. And I really don't see where it really would cost much of anything coming from district funds, but mainly from our Title IV money and from our Title II funds.
Mrs. Boozer, are they going to hit real hard the middle schools?
Yes, we talked
as
about.
far as
That's something that Teaching and Learning has been having a conversation about anyway, about how do we start that that program, that process at an earlier age, so that by the time our students get to the high school, we're not trying to push them into coursework that they haven't been ready for. So what does that look like? So I've been working with the curriculum coordinators for math and for literacy, and how we're going to make that happen. So we're working on a plan as we speak right now to make that happen, and getting more of our families and our kids ready for that. And a lot of it is not so much the data itself, but a mindset. And if we can get our kids and our families understanding that it's about a mindset, it's not so much the data, because the data is not always the best tool to use. Am I ready? Do I want to do it? Do I have the heart and the mind to want to do this work? So we're looking at some other ways to do that. And this process that the gentleman that I spoke with gives us that information, and they do a lot of work around that. So it's not just so much looking at data, which a lot of school districts do, and that's why we have so many missing students who should be in these courses that are not in them.
So that's basically where you get the bang for the buck at the middle school level,
Yes.
because you already started them in the process.
Yes, and even have some of our fifth grade teachers are looking at that as well. How do we start getting our kids involved in more rigorous coursework and classes at a younger age? And it really is a mindset. You got to get them ready. So.
Okay, thanks.
Do we have any current statistics, Mrs. Gill? And you don't have to give this to us on the spot, but I had asked you about current statistics on number of students who take the AP exams, and then our students who do well enough to receive college credit for those.
Right, and I can get that data, but I wasn't going to be able to do it just
Right,
in
right.
one day's time. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we can definitely look at who takes the exams, and I'm not quite sure without double checking if we get the results back directly ourselves. So we need to, we don't give the assessment like
Right,
we do the
right.
ACT and all of that. So we'll do a little digging and see what statistics I can bring back to you. I know that there's not as many that take the test as we would like.
Well, and I'll tell you, Diamond, one of your predecessors who sat in that chair said that one of the disincentives for students is if you're taking an AP class, you take the AP test, and then you also might have to take a final in that class. And I think we looked for a while at making the AP test the final, but there was the difficulty with the reporting, so.
Well, and the cost to the student, because individual students pay for those assessments. There's all kinds of things we're looking into. Just in one phone call with this EOS group, I got a whole host of ideas of what other districts are doing across the country, as well as I think there'll be some richness in having conversations with other districts that are involved in this cohort.
And then my last question that I asked you is, are we prepared then, this is for the 16-17 school year, are we prepared for an increase in enrollment in those AP classes across the 3 high schools?
We'll have to analyze that,
Materials,
right.
teachers.
So next year will be the building year. We'd have to plan that out and move forward as we go.
Okay.
Go forward with that.
I have a comment and a question.
Sure.
It's very necessary in my estimation. I know that you have to have a requisite score on those tests to get college credit. But I also want to make sure that there's a really tight match between our curriculum and what they're going to be tested on. And that is, in many periods of time in this district, that I'm not sure that was done.
That's a good point.
So when you bring this statistics, can you bring them so that they're diverse, broken down?
Yes. If I can get them that direction, I will.
Okay, well, we're going to need to track that at some point, because we need to make sure that all children are having access to the,
I understand
the right-
the rigorous coursework. Sure. Okay.
Anything else? Moving on to 8.1, consent action items.
Okay. Yeah, ready?
Yeah.
Great. President Lopez, I got to get it out. And members of the board, I recommend approval of consent action items 8.2 through 8.9 as described in the corresponding resolutions.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Yep.
Thunderbird?
Wait, I have some
Discussion, I
questions. Yeah,
apologize.
discussion, okay. Let's see. For the schedule of meetings for the Board of Education, the April meeting, I would like to propose that we move that to the Tuesday. I have to get it up here. Let's see.
Yeah, is there something wrong?
Because it just follows the holiday, and if people are traveling, so instead of April 17th, make it Tuesday, April 18th?
Do you have a list back there?
Just a suggestion.
So it'd be Tuesday, April 18th, is that what you're saying, instead of Monday?
Is that okay?
And what is Monday the 17th?
Monday the
What?
17th is an actual school day, but it's the day after spring break.
It's
so-
it's the day after Easter, but
The
it's
day
the,
after Easter.
yeah, it's also the, they're going to be returning to school too, so.
But it is a full student.
It is a school day,
so-
yeah.
okay.
Mhm. So,
That's really up to you all to discuss.
it's up to you guys.
You want to put that as a
What?
resolution?
Yes,
Okay, I'll second it.
okay.
Why?
I don't
You're
know.
available either day.
Well, I'm flexible.
I'm not that flexible.
Okay.
Okay,
So I
motion is-
move that we change, I move that we change the
Got a
date,
motion.
and he
And
seconded
he
it.
seconded it.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, Julie, what do you?
And I have another item.
Okay.
8.9,
Shouldn't we vote on that?
Let's vote on that.
oh, first we had to vote on
Vote
that
on
change?
that.
Okay,
On this
okay, go
one.
ahead.
Thunderbird,
No.
Handley,
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Johnson,
No.
Lopez,
No.
Moore,
Aye.
Zimmers,
All right.
Lemay.
Aye.
That is 4 aye votes and 3 noes, the motion carries.
Okay,
What was the score?
We have to show up on Tuesday.
We changed the date.
We changed the name.
okay, for 8.9, I just had a question. Looking at the attachment here, so we're going to be approving $31,000 towards the repairs. Are any of the other schools that use the Capital Career Center contributing to the cost, or is this
Yes.
like our portion? What?
They all contribute.
Well, okay, what other costs are there? I only see 31,000.
I'm not sure, I mean, I'm sure it's a proportionate, the same proportionate share that we pay on the regular operations and maintenance.
And usually based upon enrollment, too.
So I don't know our exact share, but it is based on enrollment for each of the districts.
Okay, what I'm looking at, are these the only repairs, or,
No.
okay, how do I
Out
know?
of their regular budget, they pay for the day-to-day things and the smaller things, but there have been instances in the past where, for example, I was on the board when they, out there, when they had to replace the air conditioning system and that, which was a huge cost, and it was parceled out to the various member districts. And that's usually how that works.
Okay, but how do we, what are all the costs associated with this survey that was just completed?
Maybe that's something Mr. Shaver could address. Could we table this
Or
one?
is it Mr. Vasco?
Well, it's
Okay,
not-
so they gave to you a list of health, life, safety, or they have a list of health, life, safety that they've approved at their board meeting, and we are paying with CAC reserve funds our proportionate share of the health, life, safety.
That's my understanding. This is.
As a regular
Yeah,
rule.
This is not my agenda item. I didn't
Okay.
get it, so I'm not sure, but I would guess that, yes, that's what it is. And it says there, every year, we pay both tuition fees and then also an operations and maintenance fees that goes to CCC.
Right.
This is, I'm guessing, I believe, this is the same health, life, safety survey that we went through, and these are 2 items on their list. That's correct.
Just 2 items of a list of, what? A list of 2 items?
That might be the only 2 items.
Is that a part of their tenure?
Yeah, it doesn't read like a 10-year, no.
Okay.
See, I mean, if this is 2 items
But it
of
says it's
2
being- But
items.
it does say that it's being paid out of their current, basically out of their reserve funds that they have. So
We're
it's not an
paying
additional,
anything,
we're not
right?
paying anything.
That's what
Well,
I want to put forward.
okay,
is that
I
we just have to
under-
approve it as a partner district.
Okay, I understand that, but why, if it's two, if we're paying for 2 items out of 2 items, why is the brunt of it, why are we paying, our
Because we
school
have the most
district paying?
students enrolled in the
Well, I
building.
understand that, but there are students from other school districts that
And
use
they are
it.
They
paying their
will pay
fair
a share also.
We're paying our portion share.
When every school district there that sends kids to the CACC, everybody received one of these.
Okay, so they had their portion.
They had.
Okay, that's what I need to
everybody
know.
received a portion.
Okay,
And so that's what, I didn't look to see what theirs was, but
Okay.
I brought ours back for the board as directed.
okay, that's just what I want to know. Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
8.4. First question is, how old is that roof?
16. It's a shingle.
It is a shingle?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a economical pre-tab shingle at the time.
Okay, and then design has that,
Design roofing has it, it'll go back as a standing seam metal.
okay?
That way we do not have to tear off the old shingles. Comes right over top of the system that will help ventilate the roof and cool it down and save us a little bit of energy money and give us a higher wind factor that, as you know, that's
Mhm.
area out there. I don't know what people live out there do, but
Replace our shingles.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Handley,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lopez,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
Thunderbird.
Aye.
That is 7 aye votes.
Moving on to roll call action items 9.1.
That's where we have to go. This is first. Right. Okay. Sure. I just wanted to remind you that that's where they are. Okay, Mrs. Sherman?
President Lopez and members of the board, the superintendent recommends adoption of the personnel recommendations as presented.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, we'll have a discussion, then we'll call the speakers up after that. You guys are fine
Are
with
we
that?
going to separate those out, some of those votes?
You are able.
You are able to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does anybody have any discussion about anything on there? I was going to talk about the addendum. To the board and to everybody, I will be voting present on addendum 2, dealing with the coach at Springfield High. He was my coach, but the process that went through this is how I'm voting. It's nothing against this gentleman because he was my high school coach, but I want everybody to know that it's nothing against him. It's the process, how we came to this decision. I just want to make sure everybody knew that. Anything else?
Then I will vote the same way.
Anything else over here? All right, I'm going to call our first speaker and then we'll vote. I'm going to start with SCA President Krista Wiedekamp.
Good evening, everyone. President Lopez, Superintendent Gill, and the members of the board. I'm speaking tonight in reference to the numerous administrative moves that were made last week. I understand and appreciate the fact that this is completely in your purview as superintendent to move administrators as you see fit, and I'm not speaking for or against any of the moves. You followed the contract with making these either lateral moves or placing administrators in interim positions. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. I was unaware of any of these movements until I started to receive text messages from those in the buildings. I am tonight speaking on behalf of the educators in our building. I believe that it is always best to include the staff that are already work in the building in the decision-making process. I am requesting, I'm making a very strong request in this public meeting that those administrators who are placed tonight begin to immediately meet with the staff in their new buildings to not only get to know everyone, but to seek input and ideas from the teachers, the ESPs, and other building members on making the necessary changes to continue to improve working conditions and the teaching and learning for all. These people know their buildings and students best, and they all have great ideas that need to be heard. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Next one is Lori Butler. Lori Butler here. You have 3 minutes, and Mr. Sanders is our timer.
Good evening, members of the board, President Lopez and Superintendent Gill. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I am here to speak on behalf of the change made at Springfield High School. I am a parent of 3 students in the Springfield School District. I don't have a student in the high school yet. He'll be starting there next year. But I've heard, I'm also a member of the Springfield Public School Foundation. As a member of the foundation, I have had many instances to see grants that came through Springfield High. I've seen Mr. Grosson's repertoire with the teachers there, and I've heard a lot of good things coming from the staff at Springfield High School. I've also known Mr. Grosson for a while, and he's a very strong supporter of the arts, which I really appreciate. He's a supporter of all activities at the school, but especially the arts. He's a big fan of the arts, and I really appreciate that. He's very active in all the activities at the school. And I'm sure most of you know that recently Springfield High School was rated one of the top 100 high schools in Illinois, and they're doing this with the second oldest facility, and I think we can all appreciate that. One thing that Mr. Grosson has done for the school is he spearheaded the campaign to get the new street field that we have now with the turf, and that's a very important thing for the soccer, band, PE, track, and football teams. They all can utilize that. And I just want to speak on behalf of Mr. Grosson. I think he's been doing a great job there. I understand the need for change in and across the schools, and I understand that. I just think that change, when success was occurring at the school, I really think that we should leave it how it is, and I think he was doing a great job, and I don't think we need to change success. Thank you.
Next up is Jeff Butler.
Speaking for her husband.
You have 3 minutes, and Mr. Sanders is the timer.
Don't cheat me, Rick. I'd like to thank all the school board members for serving and trying to make this common goal of making this a better place for all the students in 186. I'd like to thank each of you for your dedication, time, and effort to achieve that common goal. I met Mr. Grosson at a school foundation meeting maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and that was the first time I met him, and he recruited me over the next several months to be a lead donor for the New Street turf project. I went out to the field during their summer workouts that year, and I saw players getting injured in potholes, in divots, and I saw footballs having to be stuck in divots. And Mr. Grosson recruited me to start helping out with coaching there, as well as being, like I said, the lead donor for that field. It's a much, much better situation than what we had before that benefits many, many students that go to Springfield High. In addition, he's encouraged me to give back to the community in a lot of different ways. Other projects at Springfield High, Lindsay Elementary School, as well as Franklin Middle School, all schools where my kids have went. I wasn't that involved in the schools until my kids started going to school a few years ago and meeting with Mr. Grossen. I've been in communication through the years with a lot of the admin team members at Springfield, with a lot of the teachers, a lot of the coaches that I coach with, as well as a lot of the students that I have coached and will be coaching and that will be coming to Springfield because I've been a youth football coach for about 8 years. I've been fortunate to be around a lot of leaders in my lifetime, good leaders, bad leaders, and great leaders. And I can say with 100% conviction that Mr. Grossen is a great leader. He has impeccable character and integrity. He bleeds red and black. Springfield High, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Sacrifices his kids' activities to go to his students' activities. And I can't imagine that Springfield High would be better without Mr. Grossen being in charge as the principal. And again, I say that with 100% conviction and what I've seen and witnessed. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Frank Kopecki. You also have 3 minutes, and Mr. Sanders is the timer.
Thank you. Okay, Jennifer, members of the board, thank you. I appreciate your time. I've been a lifelong resident of Springfield. I went to Springfield High. I graduated in 1989. I don't think any teacher that was at Springfield High would think I would ever be addressing the board, so I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to me. Including my in-laws side, my kids are fourth generation SHS graduates or students. I have played an active role in Springfield schools. My wife and I both care deeply about Springfield schools. We are in competition, guys. We're in competition with Rochester, with Sherman, with Chatham. We compete on a lot of things. We don't have the infrastructure that they have, but we do have the best education in the area. And I say that to everybody, and anybody that knows me will say that I've said that. Mr. Grossen is an active part of that. Springfield High School would not be the same place without Mr. Grossen. Mr. Fellini is very familiar with Springfield High School. He was the principal. And this is no offense to you, but I would say that Mike Grossen is the best ambassador you guys have ever had for Springfield schools. I would not take a chance on doing a change just to do a change. Don't gamble our kids' future just to shuffle around administrators, please. Make it possible for me to feel good about what's going on in the district. Thank you.
We'll call a vote. Don't forget there's an addendum, and so please. No, we already had discussion. Any other discussion? Are we?
What are we voting on?
What we're going to do is vote on 9.1. It also includes the addendum, so if anything you want to have on the addendum.
What is on the addendum?
The coach is on the addendum, number 2.
Can we separate those votes?
When you do your vote, you can say except for whichever one I am part of it.
Okay.
You just want to separate it, please. Just one folder. All right, let's just pull it out, vote them on separate, that's fine with everybody.
Yeah, I think
So
that
there's not
would be
confusion.
clear.
No.
They can just, if they
On the
want to vote
addendum.
present on something, they can just pull out what they've done in the past.
Right, so
Mr.
they'd have to
Do we have to create a resolution for that to happen? No?
Just a motion is in order.
You just say you vote yes, and if you want to vote present or no on a specific item, then you
Just
say
say
so.
so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, before we vote, I just want to say that this was very difficult. And, well, we have two issues here. The one with the basketball coach, two highly qualified individuals. I don't think that the school could go wrong with either one of them. So it's, just difficult. But, I have faith in the process, and it's important to me that the coaches are in the school. So. And as far as Mr. Grosson, again, he does bleed black and red, and it's just it's a hard decision.
I'd also like to add that I like Mike Grosson. I've said that. I don't know how many people. I think that he's a hard worker in the district. I know the superintendent has had a conversation with him, and in this case, I'm going to go along with the decision. I think that the leader that is coming in is also going to do a great job, but I want this to be a conciliatory roll call. I mean, it's just hard the way things are done in this district. And I had a conversation with the young man at Town 20 today, and I kind of jokingly said, maybe politics are involved in Springfield School District, and we kind of laughed back and forth about that. But we know that politics is in everything in Springfield. And my main concern is always, always, always children first. And I would hope that we don't continue to make moves just to accommodate adults. Everyone in the building should try to get along. Everybody's not going to always be a friend. Whether it's in the school district, it's on my job, or anybody else's job. It's hard. It is truly hard. And I think that people that work hard should not have to suffer. I think when they have the best interests of children in mind, that's what our function is, to make sure that our children are getting the best education possible with the best teachers and best administrators. It is just truly a hard time of year when we come around to these things, and I think that people should be given a fair chance. I just personally believe that. Like I say, I like Mr. Grosson. He and I have not had long conversations, but we've had conversations, and I've always seen him working, so that's where I stand on this issue.
Anybody else? All right.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lopez,
I to 9.1 am present on the addendum.
Excuse me. I'm present on the addendum also.
Moore,
Aye.
Zimmers,
Aye.
Flamini,
Aye, and present on the addendum.
Thunderbird,
Aye.
Handley.
I'm gonna vote no to E4 and present to the addendum.
That is 7 aye votes for the majority of the personnel recommendations, the exception of the addendum, which failed, and the 1 no vote on
on to 9.2.
Mr. Shaver?
Thank you, President Lopez. Superintendent recommends adoption of the following resolution. Now there be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the following change order and directs the superintendent to execute the necessary documents on behalf of the board. This is for the security camera project that we had go on last summer. We found some locations that we needed to add some cameras to some of the buildings, and also replace some of our existing cameras that were in the high schools from 2010 that have failed. They're basically a small computer, and like all technology, they start to see their age in 6 to 7 years. So that's what this change order covers. It's through the Health Life Safety Bond Fund.
So moved.
Second.
Call roll, please. Discussion.
Lopez.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
Thunderbird.
Aye.
Handley.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
That is 7 aye votes. Motion carries.
Okay, I want to go back to 9.1 on the some of the approvals here. We got some people here I'm going to recognize, and I want them to stand up and recognize their family members here. I'm going to start with Erica Filipiak. Yes, please. So, congratulations. And
thank you guys so much for the opportunity. It's been amazing working at High School for this past year. I'm very excited to be able to stay. It's a great staff, students, so I'm happy. Thank you.
Jill Grove, please.
Very appreciative for this opportunity as I continue my administrative growth and my service to District 06.
Thank you so much. Janelle Basket.
Thank you. I'm excited back to get it again. It's been a large portion of my career, and I love it. I'm glad here with all this team here. I'm going to graduate, so that's also good. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Barham.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. It's been a great experience the last 3 years at Washington, and I'm decided to be heading to Lanford High School. That's why I know these people body. So I'm excited to follow my future dreams.
Thank you. Ms. Jackson.
I would just like to introduce my family up here tonight. I have my mother here with me, my daughter who is a student at Alva Elementary School, and my Aunt Rosemary. I would just like to thank you for the opportunity to continue the leadership role that I'm currently playing at the Early Learning Center. I've been there for 6 years. It's a great facility where we are just helping to set the foundation for our youngest learners in the city. And again, I'm appreciative of the opportunity.
Mr. Turner.
Thank you, Ms. Gill, members of the board. Very excited to be working with Mr. Barham and the staff there as we move into this transition. Actually looking forward to getting over there and meeting with you.
Thank you. Ms. Liardi.
I am grateful for my time and experience living here. I'm honored to contribute to the excellence of Springfield High School. My 2 sons recently graduated from Springfield High School, and I credit most of their college success to the teaching staff at Springfield High School. I thank you for this opportunity, and I'm excited to support.
Thank you so much. Kim Siltman.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm very excited. My very first teaching job in another district was in early childhood, so I feel like I've come home a little bit. And so I'm very excited to continue this excellence that Kathy Davis and the ELC have set forth with the little ones, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. And our last one is Jennifer Hansen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My husband Scott is with me tonight. I've spent the past 7 years at Jane Addams, and they've been wonderful, and I'm very excited to be going back to Lindsay, where I spent 2 years as an intern. So thank you for the opportunity.
9.3, student discipline.
President Lopez and members of the board, it is my recommendation that one 6th grade student be hereby expelled from further attendance at Jefferson Middle School through the end of the 2016-17 school year with a program, and that one 10th grade student be hereby expelled from further attendance at Lanphier High School through the end of 2016-2017 school year with a program.
We have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Just 1 moment, please. Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
Thunderbird. Aye. Hanley.
Aye.
Johnson.
Present.
Lopez.
Aye.
That is 6 aye votes and 1 present. Motion carries.
Okay, next meeting will be Monday, May 16th, in the boardroom here at 5:30. Meeting's adjourned.
Adam did a really good job.